Hello everyone, I'm the thenthapple and we're here today to take a look at Vault-Tec headquarters. It can be located right here, towards the more eastern part of the DC wasteland, and can be gained through access to the tunnels that I am pointing to right in front of you. Vault-Tec headquarters, the place where it all began. The place where the vaults were conceived, every sick, dirty experiment, every dodgy thought, the place where we grew up in and then emerged into the waste. A beautiful butterfly. Let's take a look. So the inside is in more or less type of shape you would expect for any building in the DC wasteland nowadays. There's a couple of super mutants around, but I don't think they occupied this building, and I'm going to tell you why later. As you can also see, Vault 101 door, or replica of it, is hanging proudly in the wall. We have no idea why. On one hand, Bethesda wanted it that way. On the other hand, within the lore of the area, it is because it was one of the only vaults that did not have a sick ulterior experiment, if you will. But anyway, let's get in and look at this building. So the sound you just heard there is all the robots shutting down, and the reason they are is, look, because all the robots in this building are linked to the Masterbrain 2 floors up, if you destroy it, it means that every other robot will be disabled. Even if you already destroy them, and because of a glitch, they will come back with 1 bit of health, which allows you to do this. This means you can make one more run through this building to get as much experience as you possibly can, which is a fun little exploit. So as you can see, the place is falling apart, and oddly enough, the amount of debris on the ground does not match the space that has been, well, broken. Good work there, Bethesda. Anyway, so the place is in more or less a state of shite. Okay, it looks crap, everything's broken, everything's destroyed, there's bits that collapsed off, it's a hole. We don't know why, and I can't really figure out why either. The robots didn't go crazy, and there aren't any corpses from what I could see, so I got nothing. Even this room here, how the fuck did this happen? Like, you've got these massive data banks falling down, you've got desks with shit strewn over them. My best guess, maybe the bombs caused it, but then you gotta wonder why the rest of the building didn't collapse. So yes, it's very interesting why there wasn't a more adverse effect on the structure of the building than is shown here. But we can go upstairs and maybe get a better look at the building. So in actually progressing upstairs, you'll be able to get a top-down view, and it will be the same up here. There are no computers up here, oddly enough. Now, I don't see why 420 Blaze It, look at that jump. I don't see why there are no computers in this floor, because you would have thought Vault-Tec, all their data is going to be here, it's going to be shown here, we're going to be able to get all these computers, all these terminals, but you can't, and there's actually a reason for that, and we're showing that reason, but not just yet. So the reason why those super mutants were downstairs, they were trying to get into the building, trying to get resources. The reason they're dead? The robots. Okay, they got killed out in the lobby, and the robots moved back upstairs, or maybe just one of the robots was wandering down here. But the robots killed them, and they're probably coming here because, like us, they were looking for valuable information on the vaults. Because the super mutants are always looking for another repository of FEV, the Forced Evolutionary Virus. Once again, let's just go upstairs for a wee second. So up here we can actually get some terminals. One to control the turrets, and this one right here to the left. The System Operation Terminal 3. So first of all, bulletins. So the first one is a security notice. It's saying because people are trying to access all the data, some things have been changed, okay? Shutdown of the Masterbrain, you need all 3 terminals. All materials that are sensitive have been moved to the mainframe, which is why we can't access anything anywhere else, and all mechanical security is now controlled by the Masterbrain. This would explain why when you destroy the Masterbrain, all the other robots switch off, but we can't actually switch them off using the terminals, which is a bit disappointing. This one's kind of fucking weird. Don't kick the vending machine, don't hit it with a fire extinguisher, and don't insert it with fecal matter. I don't even. What the fuck? I've got no comment on that. The bathroom breaks one's kind of weird as well. They cut their time back by 12 seconds. So I don't know how that's going to actually help or increase productivity. I know I need a certain amount of time to take a shite, but alright. This one's about Vault 112 and how it has been completed. And this one right here, Vault 92, changes were made they introduced the white noise generators. Now if you remember, Vault 92 was filled with all the musicians, and they were trying to see whether they can insert subliminal messages into people's brains using white noise, and the magicians because they supposedly have musicians because they have a better ear for sound. Now this tells me here that maybe Vault 92's original purpose was just to house the musicians. Musicians, fuck's sake, musicians. It wasn't originally to try making super soldiers. So here we can actually see what we can assume to be the best computer equipment you could get at the time, and it's still working. It's still ticking away, it's still humming away. Maybe the Enclave are still connected to this mainframe, maybe not, we don't know, but it is in still an excellent state of repair, which I find quite odd because there is no one at the moment to maintain it. Progressing upstairs, we can get to some other terminals as well, and they all have the same bulletins, but it's interesting because you need all three to get access to the mainframe. You're not allowed access to it without them, but unfortunately, as I said before, we cannot turn the RoboBrain off just using these computers. So this one's actually an employee one, so the bulletins are the same unfortunately, but this is quite interesting. The company store has several items on it, and if you click on any of them from here to here, it'll just say paycheck. This one, available to executive level employees only. Now it's quite odd because there is no bobblehead in this entire fucking building, and considering that this is Vault-Tec headquarters, you'd have thought they would have a Vault-Tec bobblehead, but no. So the last system operations one can be got here, and after you get access approved, you can then access the primary mainframe. Also, I'd like to point out, there's also a lot of other computer equipment, but I don't really know what it does. Maybe just to store data based on the rails. I couldn't tell you. As I told it. So the Masterbrain, you destroy this guy, all the other robots will be disabled, and then you can use the exploit. I don't know why they actually employ this, because in my mind it's a massive fucking gaping security risk, but alright Vault-Tec. Here's an administrative area, but once again there's no terminals. Maybe they were just taking the whole security thing very seriously, but I'm not too sure to be honest. And then right here we can actually get through and get to the mainframe. Now if you access the mainframe, you'll be able to get a list of all the vault locations and their access codes to get into it. This lets you also get back into Vault 101 if you don't get help from Agatha. But one thing here, Vault 112 isn't available because it was very clandestine. It was made by one of the key members and they did not want anyone to know. It was his own personal playground. But we'll take a wee look at that in a future episode that might just be coming up quite soon. But bar that, there is not much else to see here, barring what we can speculate, both from the information we're given and the way it's all presented. So you can take this door and the stairs and you'll arrive just here. The stairs are collapsed, and then we can find it right here. The vending machine with the shit shoved in it. Now, I did a very thorough inspection. I could find no shite in this slot or within the machine, much to my grave disappointment. But it happened. Maybe somebody ate it or cleaned it out. So that is Vault-Tec headquarters. The place where all this madness began, where people were preserved. And it did its job. People were preserved. Okay, thousands survived. But unfortunately, a lot of the twisted and sick experiments led to the deaths of thousands as well. I find it interesting to note that Vault 92 may have not been a super soldier white noise testing ground initially, and they just added it in later. And also that Vault 112, yeah it is 112 is not on this, because the creator of that vault was a sick bastard who used it for his wee playground, and we're going to look at that later. But beyond that, I'm quite annoyed that there's no more information on the employees here or the working conditions, but we did get a good gleaming into what Vault-Tec was doing. It was all just normal for them. They just made the vaults, they just created them. There was no conscience behind it, if you will. But I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, I hope I will see you in the next one. And goodbye. You made it to the end of the video. Congratulations! I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not drop a like? If you have anything to say to me, anything to ask, anything to, I don't know, suggest for next episode, please leave it in the comment section below. If you want to watch some more of my videos, why not subscribe and get regular updates? go watch obvious trailer analysis if you want to see me take the piss out of game trailers, and have a lot more Fallout lore and more best moments to come. Also, don't forget to share on all the social media that you kids love these days, and follow me on Twitter so I can interact with you all a lot more easier because it is faster to do on Twitter, and you can ask me any questions that you want to ask. I hope I will see you in the next episode, and until then, goodbye.